Omar, what was the most surprising thing? What was the thing that struck you the most surprising on this trip to Abu Dhabi and Dubai?
Okay, so I'm looking at how I perceived things beforehand, before this trip, and the only thing I'm thinking of is oh, could you rewind?
How open to differences and different cultures Emiratis are, and they interact very well with expats.
Driving a plane in a flight simulator, definitely a unique experience, and crashing one too. It was pretty fun.
The most memorable thing was also possibly the strangest thing. We were sitting in Abu Dhabi at a 5-star hotel, and we were at the pool having drinks, relaxing, and then all of a sudden I looked over and I saw a bus full of low-wage migrant workers who were going home after a long day. And this also just reinforced because my first experience in Abu Dhabi was opening my window early that morning and seeing them arrive very early that morning at like 6 or 7 a.m. and then seeing them leave late that night at about 6 or 7 p.m. So just that juxtaposition of wealth and the income disparities overall was my most memorable experience here.
Well, oddly enough, when we were at Sylvain Denis' house, there was a couple of caterers, and most of them were of East Asian background, and they actually thought quite oppositely. So they basically said that coming over to Abu Dhabi and Dubai was actually something quite positive for them, because when they would return to their native countries, they would get treated like kings.
Serious? Okay. What do I say?
Let me ask you questions.
Single most profound thing you
Sit.
I don't have any profound
Sit properly.
So I think the most profound thing I found on this trip was the way the government is structured. To take Abu Dhabi as an example, the government, I would say the government's more comparable to like a large conglomerate rather than traditional government. It doesn't take its revenue from taxes, rather it has oil revenues, and it is trying to diversify itself. Its revenues come from its companies that it holds through sovereign wealth funds. And so yeah, that's a model of government that's completely different from what I've seen thus far. On the social aspect, I think there's a lot more tolerance than I expected, which is reasonable given that 85 to 90% of the population is made up of expats from various different ethnicities. On the gender equality side, there's also more female empowerment than I expected. One place we visited, Sheikh Khalifa Medical Center, had a female CEO that said that she felt that being a female in Abu Dhabi was as much an impediment as it was in the US, and that she was recruited to Sheikh Khalifa specifically because they felt that they needed female role models. So that was something that surprised me also.
Yeah, so this was a pretty amazing trip, I have to say. When I first arrived, I thought that it would be probably a very difficult one because there's a lot of diversity in this group. A lot of kids are from management and very management backgrounds. Some of us are more like have an artsy mentality. This leads to different point of views, different tastes, a lot of different things, lifestyles, and also opinions on society and on business. Everyone really liked each other. Everyone got along. We agreed on a lot of things. We shared our opinions, our different ideas, and it worked out pretty well. I got to know people from management a lot better, and no, in general it was a really good experience, and I hope that we all learned a lot from that.
You know, how I perceived this region was that there's an artificial feel to this place, and when we came here, what I learned was that culture plays a big role in a company, and how they manage the company, and how they run their company, and how they deal with their clients. That's one of the things.
And you got a job.
And I got a job.